Hey everybody, my name is Skye and this is Book Club. We have Marabella, we have Tony, we have Dulce, we have Lisa, we have Kiko. Hey guys.
Hello.
And hey everybody watching, I'm very excited because this is the first book club. The book we have read and we're going to talk on today is, let me add it to the stage, it is Muse, The Magnetism of Women Who Stop Abandoning Themselves by Dr. Amanda Hanson. So, yeah, I thought first off we'd get started with anybody who wants to come forth and say how they found the book.
Lisa?
I guess I'm the one who starts because I'm the one who suggested it, right? So I love this book because it really, one of the things I'll just say, like, I had so many key takeaways from this, but one of the things that really stood out to me was, and thinking of this group that we have right here and the women's podcast and stuff like that we have, I think that when I was reading the book, I kept thinking of you guys because this is the group of women where she always talks about the sisterhood and empowering each other and lifting each other up, you know, not being judgmental and all that kind of stuff. And I just kept thinking of you guys. And that's another reason why I mentioned it, because I was like, this is what we as women crave. Like, one of the other key takeaways was, like, when she was talking about how, in society, like when we watch movies, like, for example, Cinderella, it's like the evil stepmother and the stepsisters who, it's like women are shown to be like evil or bad, or we're all in competition with each other. And that's not what our innate divine feminine needs, right? And we're taught to be more masculine and to take this like power control when we need to be soft and support each other and that kind of thing. So that was one of the bigger key takeaways that I took from the book, is that in my life, and that's why I appreciate you, Skye, and Kiko, and Tony, Marabella, and Dulce. You guys are all so beautiful, and I just love being part of this little group that we have, because it's so supportive, and I look forward to our chats and everything. So thank you.
Thank you. I love that. Okay, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I felt the same. Like, it reminded me of the sisterhood. When I was going into the chapters, I was just thinking about it, and I mean, in my experience, like, I was going through all of those stages, right? And I was just like thinking the importance of having this group and having just women have done their inner work in my life. So, and then eventually the people that you admire, and how you can integrate that into your life, or what is it that you can improve in your own life as well that you haven't gone into, or what is the desires that you are craving, or all the things that you really want, that it keeps evolving, you know. And having this group to integrate it all, or just encourage each other to keep doing it, it's just beautiful. So all the chapters gave me a lot of deeper understanding on how the process is coming to. And one of the other things, and I was remembering that I talked to you, Skye, about it, is the rage of our emotions. Like, I mean, the own rage that we haven't allowed ourselves to really feel or move through our bodies, right? So there's a lot of things that I would like to be talking about. But yeah, one of the big ones was the sisterhood. So thank you, guys.
Sure. I want to just go next because it started off when I started reading the book. Now, everybody has to understand that I stopped reading. So when I got myself well, I was like, I didn't want other people's voices in my head. I wanted my own. And so I kept trying to read books, and I was like, and I've tried to read Joe Dispenza's book. And when I get into it, anything negative triggers me. So how I healed myself was, I can't look at life with negativity because it was destroying me. So I started reading this book, and the first part I loved about the women coming together in this, like, making this like what we do basically.
Yeah.
Then I was triggered so badly. I was really upset that a lot of how she saw and got herself well was through basically putting like all the bad things that happened to women. And I know this is just one area, but I had to stop doing this in my own life, because when I did this, if something healed, just say I had these diseases and I got really angry that, you know, poor me, this happened to me. The way society is, nobody looks after themselves, and this happened to me, and the doctors did this to me. Just say I fixed it. What I found is I then project the same negativity into other areas of my life. So I really I kept pushing through. So usually I stop and I push through and I push through till I got really, really upset. And I went to Kiko and I'm like, I can't do this book club. This is not for me. And she said, no, you're supposed to share how you feel. And she really encouraged me. It took about 2 days to get calm. But it really, I think, and it doesn't mean anybody's way of healing is wrong. It's just, I think how my perception is how I healed is different to hers. But in saying that, the first part of it was what I wanted for my life. Like, I don't want to be sitting around bitching about women, putting other women down. I want this. I want this for all of us to come together, us to share what we're going through, share meaningful things. So I was kind of like, there's two parts to that for me. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Skye, I'm so grateful that you have, you know, you're hosting this and allowing us to be together. And, you know, there were so many key takeaways from this book, Muse. And I love hearing Skye's point of view. And it's interesting how everyone reacts, and, you know, each person's takeaway is different. So you know, when Skye reached me out that she felt that it was not, maybe she shouldn't be doing this as a, you know, host. I said, no, it's so interesting. You know, it's so, we are not encouraging to have the same opinion, right? And this is why we are here as a sisterhood to help each other. And for me, because I was born and raised here in Japan, and although I lived abroad for a long period of time, you know, expectation as a woman is very heavy. And it was very eye-opening for me to hear American women talk about this inequality, even in the States, because we always, you know, Japanese people say that, you know, U.S. being a freedom and women being able to do whatever they want. And, you know, we pretty much go through the same thing, maybe in a different degree. And one incident here in Japan that I would like to share is that one of the prestigious University of Medicine, is that right? The university to become a doctor. Yeah. And they have been manipulating the results of students, and the principal didn't like women to be in the school, so they manipulated the female students' scores. And I thought this manipulation happened in 70s and maybe 80s, but they found in 2018, they disclosed that there was a manipulation in this university. It was shocking for many Japanese people, you know, that it's still happening. And it's interesting to see as a fact that this is happening. And, you know, it's great that we have this platform like what Skye is offering, that, you know, we can all connect and help each other because, yeah, it's just a lot more powerful when women can help each other and who we can understand and relate better. So.
Marabella?
Yeah, I had a strong reaction to the book. Actually, I didn't realize, I think I learned things that I felt inside but didn't think about, such as women's healthcare and how it just has not been top notch. I think I knew that, but I never really like stopped and thought about it. A lot of the things that she talked about in there, you know, she was really saying to like age gracefully and naturally, and really talking about like not having enhancements and different things like that. And she was very strong about that. And I do see her point, but I also saw that like we have to decide for ourselves what is right for us, whether it be whatever it is. Like, and I feel like some of these big topics, I was like, whoa, I just knew this, but I never like dove into them so deeply. So I, like you, Skye, at first I really liked hearing about the history of women's health. It kind of like fired me up. I was like, wow, I just can't even believe this. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get through this book. I'm gonna throw it. And then at the end, where it was talking about, you know, like connecting with your inner child self and working through your anger, which I thought was so powerful, like such great advice. I think she has strong opinions, and it's okay. It's her book and something we can all learn from. And definitely, I enjoyed the end. I liked the more spiritual ending of it for sure.
Yeah.
I like the Women Manifesto. It was that was a very powerful ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I feel we've got lots of things to open up, because I felt, some triggers or I don't necessarily get triggered because I do now read books with an open mind, because I used to invest in books and I'd be like, oh, like a sponge, and I'd be like, and I'd apply it. But now I'm a bit more, I have discernment. I take in what it resonates. So some things resonated, something because I felt I could resonate with many things and how I used to be as well. And we can unpack that, especially because it goes into a bit of feminism and saying like men. And I know she's not being absolute, but I do feel it's a bit simplified, and we have to be careful, because I don't want to feel like we're oppressed as women, and I do feel there's a lot out there where it's very male dominated, but we have to, like what Skye was saying about that, where you put your energy into, because now I'm seeing more of a female, now I'm putting the energy into a female dominated, and I'm seeing it everywhere. So you really have to be careful where we put, there's the truth out there. We can't deny that it's a very heavy on the men, masculine, but that's also from culture, society, so we can unpack that. But what I really took away was, and I'm also, what was very interesting to see my reaction towards the judging of people that do choose to have things manipulated, because I'm really speaking up more about, wow, there's so many women, especially my clients and friends that I have here in Thailand. It's very, Thai culture is very, they're very on how they look. So white skin, and they're getting like at 20, a few of my friends at 25 are getting Botox, baby Botox, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And they're telling me, when are you getting your Botox? You're 40. And I'm like, I'm not getting Botox. So I started to become really judgmental of them, like going, my gosh, what are you doing? But I was checking in with myself with, how's the heart though? Where, if I'm coming from a place of like, okay, they're just so, it does make me sad. I'm not going to deny that I have these strong feelings of, we're manipulating ourselves so much that towards society standards, this toxic, I did a video on it actually, because I was so raved off about it. I was like, but it didn't get many views, which was interesting, because I thought, wow, I might feel alone sometimes, because here it feels very heavy on Botox, boob, the boob augmentation. And I nearly got it done. I had actually, when I was 19, I actually went for a consultation, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to be careful here, because I understand people will have the reasons, but I'm like, where's that reason coming from? Is it coming from this society expectations? So I want to be conscious of how because before I used to be like, don't do it. Why are you doing that to yourself? Now I'm a bit more, let's really dig deep on why we're actually choosing to do that. Because
I mean, it was only a few months ago. I was like, should I get Botox? Like the girls I was surrounding myself with. So now I'm just limiting my time with those because of how it makes me feel. I have become much more aware of, okay, I don't need to be susceptible, and I want to embrace. I love the embracing aging. You know, let it age for me naturally. Whatever my face starts to do, I'll enjoy the natural ways of preventing premature aging. Like, I think this lifestyle, the raw lifestyle, has definitely helped me, you know, and I see a difference just from photos, and I'm really enjoying that aspect, but I really don't want to go down the route of where it becomes toxic and unhealthy. And I think that's what actually stopped me from going to get some manipulation with my breasts, was because where will it end for me? It's like, okay, I want to be careful here. So as long as we're moving through consciously, but yeah, lots to unpack. So that's my part on it. So I found that amazing. I'm glad she's bringing that up and raising awareness on this.
It's so interesting. Tony, you're originally from England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very interested to hear about your perspective because, you know, British women living in Thailand, and I'm very I have lots of close friends in Thailand, and yeah, as you said, it's like plastic surgery. It's like it's common there.
Very,
and it's quite shocking, and it's interesting to see from British women's eye, you know, what's happening. So you know, if you can send me the YouTube link that you talked about, I would be very much interested in listening to it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very surprising how it's much heavier here compared to where I was from in England. And now even like, because now we're having a lot more Russian culture here. So they do have the Botox and the lip fillers and the bum. Like, I go to the gym. I've gone to 2 gyms. One's more functional, one's more influencers, and it's everywhere. And I do look around, and I'm like, and I'm looking at what I try to do, and I'll totally be transparent. My first thing is like, I get that deep sadness, and then there's this also emotion of, oh, do I look like, I look at my bum and I'm like, oh, and then I'm looking, and then it's just like, oh God, I catch myself, okay, and then look at the beauty, but then I'm like, oh, but I want to see more. So for me, I really want to encourage more natural. I will start sharing more I want to look at more natural. My new thing now for the new year is really looking at more the natural beauty and really embracing and bringing that forward, because I'm starting to get, because I got susceptible to it. It was probably heightened end of last. I never was that interested, but now being more in the south of Phuket, where all the gyms, it's very influencer, and I'm noticing it, and I'm like, oh, and I'm starting to look at my wrinkles, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't really feel worried about that until recently. And I was like, okay, do I want to, because everyone's just, they look perfect skin, everything. And I'm like, I'm aging. First time I've experienced it, I was like, I'm actually aging. But I'm gonna really encourage the embracement of it.
It's shocking to hear from someone like you, Tony, because I mean, you look so perfect, and it's a good reminder to hear from you. So thanks for sharing.
I feel it, and I'm really going to be conscious of it. And my thought, this is the great thing, having this awareness of why you're going down that path, and you do become your surroundings. So be careful. So I'm going less to the gym if you're susceptible to the pressure, because it's normal. Because when you, like I said, when you go vegan and everyone's eating, it's completely normal. Especially here, it's more acceptable, and in most of the parts of the world, Western, it's more acceptable. But when you aren't in that environment, it can feel there's a lot of pressure. So I get it in cultures. So like the Russian culture is like, I've got many Russian friends, and I don't know one that doesn't do any Botox. I don't know one pair. So I'm like, oh. And then if they start putting pressure on me, or I'm conscious of how much time I'm spending with them, because it's becoming like what she said with her friends. That's all they were talking about. And I'm like, these 25-year-olds are beautiful, and they're doing work on themselves now. And then I'm seeing the repercussions of older ladies that are getting the problems now, like their faces, it's just constant having the upkeep sort of puts me off. The maintenance, I'll be like, oh my gosh, you have to do that for the rest of your life. Like, no, I'm not really. I mean, that's a good, if I could take some positive role that I'm not really willing to put in that much effort in that side, because it's, and when you start to see, I know you don't want to focus on the negative, Skye, but I think for me, I will sprinkle it. Same with the animal cruelty and the dog stuff here the work I do. I think it's sometimes we need to sprinkle in the truth. For me, not excessively, because it really does my lens starts to become quite unhealthy. But I feel we need to know the truth of the effects, the negative effects that happens when we start, really, using these fillers, these treatments in our body. And our body, I've seen people, it just does not react well, and straight away they see the reactions. Some people, it's further down the line. And it's scary. It's very scary.
Yeah.
Oh, Skye, you're muted. Skye's muted.
What I was wondering is, listening to what you're saying, and I never thought about this, but it sounds like where you are, everyone around you has higher standards of beauty culturally. I didn't even think about it. Like, when you're talking about people who are in Thailand and they're aging, they want to whiten their skin, and you're saying there's all these influences. I didn't think about it too much, because where I am, it's either or. Like, there is, of course, people who go really far. There's people who go moderately. There's people who don't do it. And the other thing that doesn't happen around here, and I don't know whether England is different to Thailand, but whether you do it or not, it's not a huge difference. And in my opinion, it's kind of on me. Like, if I start to feel these pressures, it's like a me thing, because around here where I live, it's not like it's either or. Is that a difference between England, where there's people who are really done up, or there's people who just age, don't even really care, versus it sounds like Thailand, there's people, it's like a huge, and that's what I'm getting from Kiko, that culturally, like, you're expected.
Yeah, there's mix. There's definitely because it's so diverse now, especially Phuket. You've got Russian, Thai, because the Thais are they're very they're very conscious of how they look. They don't really have filters. It's very interesting to see. We were talking about this the other day about the language they use, the words they use. They don't see anything wrong with saying you've got wrinkles or you're fat. So they're very open. And some people would take offense to that, but I'm kind of used to, because I've traveled and I mix. But in England, you would get offended. I always remember when I was in England, everyone wanted to be like the skinnies of the skinny, Kate Moss, model, Finn. And I went to Las Vegas, and there was a lot of Latinos, and I've got a fairly curvy. My bum is curvy compared to my size, and they were all like, "Girl, you've got a big bum," and I was mortified. I was look at it to me, but now it's like here, it's like the bigger the bums, the better. I'm like, I'm embracing my bum. You know what? These pressures are everywhere, and this is what I loved about the book. Is like, honestly, when you take an opinion, you're gonna get it's so confusing, and to young people, they're like sponges. I mean, we've done a lot of inner work. We've done a lot of work, and I do feel like that's why I would say my 20s, that pressure to be skinny. Like, skinny's the skinny, and that was the England, and I know it's different in different parts of the world. It's so fascinating.
Oh, it was like that here.
Yeah, and it was the same in Thailand. Asians were very slim, and everyone wanted the Asian physique. Now with the influence of Russians and I think it's obviously in America, but it's like the most curvy Kim Kardashian type. I see that. So it's very mixed, but it's there's the in-betweeners that are just doing the lower amounts, I would say, but it's very mixed. Yeah, I would honestly, I see. I'd like to say I see. I think it's just because I'm seeing it everywhere now. Again, what you put your mind. I don't see as many natural, like especially at my age, because even many of my friends, they're doing the Botox, especially around their eyes. Oh, and I'm like kind of the odd. And then I look at who I'm surrounded. I mean, I'm trying not to judge because I love that they're great souls, but I'm careful of where's these conversations going. So now I'm opening up more about it, and I'm sharing this book. And I do. Some of them got like I had a conversation the other day, and my friend did get offended. She was saying about color in her hair, and I said, "Oh, it does look beautiful, but it's close to your brain and you're using these chemicals." So I'm just like, I have to be careful because I understand that people want, it's just be careful whether, I mean, there's so many avenues we can go down on the health side and the mental health side of it. It's when it starts to affect, health wise and the toxic, as the more we learn, the more we discover, you start to see the truth behind these beauty and the beauty standards and what we've put on us, the pressures. It's you can get lost in it. So I'm glad we're aware of it. And these books, you might not resonate fully, but some things are these amazing, great nuggets that we can take away that you can implement in your life and that will support you.
Yeah.
It's great to have that balance. It's great to have that voice too. All the voices should be heard. And it is rare to, as we get older, it's rare and rare and rare to see 100% natural, no hair color, nothing done. But there's a place for that. There's a place for all of it.
Yeah, it's so important to choose our friends. And, just like Tony was saying, like, as soon as you're surrounded by those people who does, Botox and plastic surgery, just like as if they were just buying some beauty products, and it's just become a norm. And the same thing for me this year, I have been raw vegan for over 21 years, but this year being fully raw has been so easy. And, it's really all thanks to you guys. I haven't been 100% this year, but most of the time I have been fully raw, and it was just so easy. And before I was just struggling, and each person has a different journey, but I'm very, very careful who I choose to be my close friend. And I'm really, honored to be your friends, all of you.
We love you, Kiko. Love you.
Likewise, Kiko. Love you so much. I wanted to chime in on like Tony, we're talking about the hair care and stuff like that. I have had quite a few people message me and talk about how like I use a lot of skincare because I personally I'm a skincare junkie, like Osea, but I was thinking about it a lot, like after reading the book. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's my time with me. And I think that's the big key takeaway. Another key takeaway I took from this book was that you do you, not out of a need to conform, but you do it because it resonates with you and you thoroughly enjoy it. You have no obligation to do it. Like when I do my skincare, I'm there like massaging my skin and just like it's a whole ritual for me. And it's part of it's like a moving meditation. I listen to affirmations, or I would listen to this book on tape, or I watch YouTube videos, and I just I enjoy the process. So when we come at certain things, like someone might think, oh, Alyssa does it because she's trying to stay young. But it's but I do it because I'm connecting with me and I'm learning about my skin and my body and all of that kind of stuff. And that's why I do it. But I can see how, somebody could be coming at it oh, they actually feel anxiety if they miss their evening routine, or if they don't get the Botox or whatever it is. When that happens, to just take a step back and be why do I feel anxiety over this action? Right. And then really boiling down the intention to being something that fulfills you instead of out of obligation. So I wanted to share that too.
Nailed it. That's exactly, where is it coming from? Absolutely. I do many rituals, and even I'm learning new skincare routines now, thinking more of where can I, do, like they say, there's the prevention of premature aging, because we all have been there when we've not cared, been in the sun for all day. I used to sunbake all day. and not take care of myself. So there's definitely a place, and where it's coming from. Whereas if you're not conforming, I think you've absolutely nailed that. I feel totally resonant.
Yeah, I wanted to just say on this topic as well. So when I first went raw, I let everything go. The only thing I used, and part of my healing was I only used coconut oil, and I think rosemary oil through my hair, rosemary water and apple cider vinegar through my hair. But I got to this stage this time last year where my body wanted just for about 2 or 3 months, my hormone replacement therapy. I had got pain in my joints. My skin was aging very rapidly to the point where I was getting I don't know, not crepey so much, but like rosacea, like redness and stuff. Then it's been on for months. So eventually I put it back in. And if you've watched this year, I started to do really well again. Like looking at my photos this time last year, I wasn't well. And then I did really, really well. And yes, it was a journey, like balancing that. But a huge thing which really helped me this year was dyeing my hair blonde again and I ended up using some natural fake tan because I lost my memory, and getting that back didn't fully come in big until I looked in the mirror and saw parts of who I used to be. So it's definitely not where the same as I guess I always think about what's its purpose, and I am doing better emotionally, physically with my mind because of the hormone. It's just estradiol, it's bioidentical hormones, and the blonde hair and the fake tan, which I don't use as much. It's kind of summer now, but it must have initiated something that I was looking for. What I'm very conscious of is what I do most days, and that is look after myself. I think the first part of my health journey was getting me well. Now I feel like I do what I do partly also so my body can process what it's around. So if I feel happier and healthier at the moment with my hair, and when I was doing more, some of the fake tan, and I was very mindful of how well I looked after my body so my body could process these things. And also to some extent, I use more natural products now. So like you, Lisa, it's like, it makes me feel better. I assimilate some of it. It's not all this. I feel like my past was all like a war zone. Like I'm like patching myself up and now I'm very conscious. So it's like, I guess it brings it back to what Marabella's saying is each person can also have their reasons for choosing to do, some things.
So important. Yeah.
It can be part of our creativity too. And the nightly skincare routines, part of relaxation and having our endorphins kick in and different things for different reasons. But I definitely agree with in the United States where I live, it's a mixture. There's people that are very, very into their looks, into all that plastic surgery, and then people that just don't care at all. And there's such a great mix. I feel like it is starting younger here in the area that I live in. People are doing the preventative, all this, different nationalities. Some do more than others. And it does make you think. It makes you wonder, where it's coming from. If all this is because of peer pressure, because everybody else is doing it. Once you start one thing, then it kind of leads to another, to another, to another. Not just with your body, but with buying things, dressing a certain way. So can be a slippery slope if a person's not careful. But then on the other side of it, there's little bits of things to try, and if you like that, maybe you stick with it or try something else. All this is to kind of sometimes to make you feel better, to be your best self. I don't know, I like to present. When I wake up in the morning, part of feeling good is having that routine, kind of like what Lisa said about I do face yoga. And so, and I do color my hair because I don't know, sometimes when I see my hair lighter, I feel happier. When it's darker, I don't quite feel like myself. So I think with aging too, it's you're shifting into something different. I'm shifting into someone else physically. And it's you have to eventually, I'll be ready to be gray, maybe so, maybe not, maybe never, but that's just part of who I am. I like the different color, like to try different colors, be creative with that.
It's just
Mm.
you've just got to be really mindful of where it's going to take you. For me, I just don't want to go down a path that is it's going to become too unhealthy. I think if you do your due diligence on and how you have to decide then. I hope, and who knows, because we're open and things change. I really want to embrace aging, so I'm really gonna share more on just like my just. Yeah, I do wear a little bit of eye makeup and a lip gloss. But I'm hoping I stay, because it's easy to fall because I felt the pressure. So it depends on where you are. You can really use to express. And I did go down the same as you, Skye, where I was like, oh, just clean eating, didn't use anything for my skin. I did nothing. And I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped shaving in England as well. I was like, all that. And I was like, okay, I want to do something. So you pick your,
I get that.
I've done that too, all natural for a while too. Just
I loved doing that, but I felt like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I felt like part of myself, but I liked that this time I got to pick. Like I felt in the past, even very young, that what I chose to do beauty-wise, and it's so much about the intention, was because I was broken. Now I like to compliment. I'm doing the work every day, and I pick things which, as you say, make me feel happier or lifted, or help me. For me, this year's been really about me coming back together as myself, and then maybe I'll let things go gradually. But I think a huge part of my story was like instantaneously losing myself, and if I can get a few moments with her back, and then I think I could let it go. But it's like, it is that we're all like on our journey. And when I think of this book, is we all do things to get like what we want as the best of ourselves from life. And if this is the way Amanda saw her life, and this is what helped her become what she sees as the best version of her, that's what we want in the world, right? Like that's what I want for all you guys, like everyone watching.
Yeah, my my favorite actress is Kiki, the Japanese actress, and she is sort of like my role model. I don't know if you know her. So that's her. So she's won quite a few awards, and she's very natural and very unique. She has passed away, but yeah, she doesn't do any cosmetic, or she doesn't even dye her hair, but she's very classic. She dresses well, and she always tell her other peer actress, like, don't waste your time, going for Botox or, all that beauty cares, and, focus on what's more important in your life. And I think everyone has their own way of expressing themselves. And, if they are completely happy doing Botox, and if that makes them feel good, go for it. But the trends that I see that, my friends who has done plastic surgery and they're open about it, they are, they say that they regret doing it because it's just never ending road, and yeah, and this actress, I really like her because she always say, embrace your wrinkles, embrace your age spot, because it's part of your journey, right? Like I've got wrinkles, I've got age spots, and I cannot erase this because those are the memories of me laying down on Bahama Beach, without any, protection. When I was in early 20s, I didn't care, and all of that is engraved in my face. And I started to cherish that aging. I honestly, thanks to her, because she's really my role model. Like, embrace your aging. It's so beautiful. Everyone aged in a different way because of our face expression or whatever we did in our life.
Yeah. One of the things that I was really taking my time to just meditate about was the feeling of this person that she was mentioning on the book when she was dressing up in a specific way and the way that her parent used to make her feel, and the shame and all those things that makes you change the way that you embrace yourself or accept yourself, and what is going to be affecting on your mental health for the future, and how you show yourself to the world, and the safety that a parent can be given to you or not, and all of these things that in the future is going to be, if it's in a positive way or a negative way, it's up to us to really take care of that, and change the dynamic in our mind, and just embrace ourselves, right? But it's really important to be conscious about it, because we are not, like, until we're doing the inner work, we're realizing, like, oh, I remember when I was a little girl and I was super skinny, like super, super skinny, right? And people made fun of me. And I was just like, why are you making fun of me? Like, I think I'm okay, I'm happy, I'm just a kid. But then later on my teenage, like, I was still super skinny, and the kids on the middle school were telling me that my legs were like cane sugar legs, and I'm like, or you have some kind of things hanging out on your skirt, and I'm like, what is it? Oh, it's your legs, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so mean. But imagine people now in this age, like they will be like, I have seen news where people take their lives, or they do very different stuff that harm their mental health, and we're not aware of the consequences that it can show up for you or for your kids, and how to really put as parents or as a person, just to know how you can support yourself and feel good within, from the inside, and then that is going to reflect. I remember that there was people that were telling me, oh, don't you worry, Dulce, you're going to be like, in the future they're going to be struggling with their health or whatever, and I'm like, thank you, but I was okay. I was just like, if that's how they feel. I remember I talked with my parents about it, and they were like, you're okay. How do you feel about it? And we had these conversations. But yeah, it's really important how, like, what's behind that story of us as an adults trying to, okay, put this thing, or maybe I don't know, breast implants or whatever. If that's something that you want, if that's something that makes you feel good, I wouldn't do it. But that's people's choice, right? And where it comes from, it should be like something that you have to really think about, if it's a need, something that you need a validation for, something from the past, or whatever it is. I think it's a good point that she was talking about. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I would like to talk about from the book, but I think that all of these little things that we are doing in the need of validation of things like that, I'm not saying that we are, but people that might be listening to that think that they have to do these beauty standards that the system is trying to program in ourselves. Just like, take your time and think about what really was triggering you to make you feel or think that you need those type of things. So just take the moment, and whatever you feel good with, go ahead and take care of yourself. But because basically all about this book is loving yourself, and take the moment to meditate with you, and just embrace the wholeness that you are.
But yeah, when it comes to children, they don't have the choice when society is really like putting the pressure. It's like it's not their own choice, and this is why it's sometimes eradicating certain things I feel is the easiest, but never happens. But yeah, when the children are influenced so much now, like I see even around me, the young, like say 20, even 19, 18, but even as young as that, once she saying like there was 7-year-olds, I don't know if it was in the book or read something else.
Yeah.
How, and the body dysmorphia, you know, how they perceive themselves. And it's like, it's so like, yeah, I didn't even experience that at school. We had our pressures and we had some challenges, but now it's like even, yeah, and you're seeing a lot more mental health in younger souls. So this does have a consequence, you know, then now with filters, with the internet. What would you guys say would be moving forward? Because when we have these gray areas, when we're saying it's your choice, if it feels good, we have to be very careful, because yeah, as an adult, maybe we can make decisions, but we are still influenced by who we're around. And like now with me in this, I'm very careful in who I surround myself with, but I'm influenced, you know, I'm feeling the pressure. So imagine young children and their parents encouraging, especially with the YouTubers, young YouTubers. I saw a 12-year-old saying she's got a wrinkle, she's going to go and get Botox.
Oh my God.
But it's the happiness projected, right? So if you want to have grey hair, not use hormones, not wash your face, age as Amanda's aging, you need to be your true self and happy. And she seems that way. But what children are seeing is snippets of media where people have got lots going on and they see moments of happiness. So just say your mum did nothing, like never looked after herself, never cared, and she was really angry and bitter. Like just putting it out, like make believe here. That child is so impressionable, like unbelievable. I truly think the key is for us to own our happiness. Kind of what bits of people were saying is when you choose to do it, don't go have the boobs done and then you're still miserable and angry, and like that's obviously not addressing anything. If things come into your life and start to build a better soul and build a better community and build more love, I truly don't see any other, that's my interpretation of changing the world, than people doing that. But it's very intense. What children are seeing is that they're seeing snippets of true happiness from these influencers who are the cookie cutter, but the people they see every day need to be in their truth, and that looks different for each person.
Yeah,
that's my take on how the only way I see change being made. Because if the angrier we get, children see that anger and will associate anger with an event.
yes.
Even subconsciously.
That's so powerful, Skye. So true, so true. While I was, Dulce, when you mentioned about the story about the dress, and how when she was told, you know, or whatever, but that made me think of this reel or carousel I saw on Instagram, and it was a psychologist who was talking about kids who stopped drawing around the age of 8. And when they were doing these studies, they found that the kids who stopped drawing were the kids who were told things about their drawing that went against their own intuition. Like, for example, say the kid drew trees and all the trees were red, and the parent or the teacher or, you know, the adult would be like, why are the trees red? You know, they're supposed to be green. Or if they draw a horse that has funny legs, they're like, why are the horse's legs funny? You know, like you're questioning the child's imagination or their own interpretation of whatever they're drawing. And the kids that kept drawing were the kids where the teacher or the parent would say something like, I love how you see it. And that child felt validated and was like, yeah, you know, because in time they may draw the horse's legs properly later or what have you. But in that moment, like, I think just with how we dress, how we look, how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to fit into this box of like, you're supposed to draw the house with the roof, you know, or, you know, the sun is supposed to be a circle or whatever, you know, like we're telling the kids how they should draw, how they should dress, how they should be. And then they grow up like that. But we were told those things when we were young as well. So it's like a generational thing that all of us need to start working on. And like Skye says too, like the hurt, like, you know, I remember one time And I don't blame my parents for it, but I was supposed to be doing my homework. But at school, all of the kids were drawing mazes. And so I went home and I was like, I'm going to draw the best maze, right? So I was like drawing this I filled the entire page with a maze when I was supposed to be doing my homework. I was so proud of this maze. I went upstairs and I showed my parents. I was like, look what I did. I was so excited about it. And all I got was, you're supposed to be doing your homework. I was like, well, in my head, I was like, I was going to get to it. But at that time, that's what I wanted to do. And that really made me feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing what I want to do. Like I have to conform. And so, as we grow up, then we start to feel like, oh, I need to conform, because if I do something different or the way I want to, someone's going to judge me. Right. So it can be really painful. But, as we move through our life, and we're all growing and changing and learning and stuff, and hopefully we can teach the younger generation a little differently than how we've been raised, but it's gonna take a long time.
But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're trying.
We're trying.
We definitely are. We definitely are.
But it's really like super important to realize, when did we stop as a kid doing the things that we wanted? When did we just went to the programming and kept doing what we were told to, and doing the things that we really desire? And that's a very good thing, that by the end of the book, she was encouraging people to make your list of your desires and keep going with what you left at that period of time or whatever. So it's really trying to empower you to be true to yourself and have this harmony within and with what you want to do. So it's really beautiful, that part, but also feel the things that you avoid, so you can heal and you can know yourself as well. But and it's so interesting, because we have done the work and then things happen, and then you realize that you have to go deeper into
there's more.
There's more.
Oh, there's loads. The book, it's good to, at least you've got the awareness. That's the start. And even I'm always thinking, okay, where's this coming from? Is it the heart? Some people will misinterpret, and we all have different lenses at different times. But as long as we're doing our best, we're not here to, again, this perfection. We shouldn't say this. We should do this. I generally am more cautious. I did have a lot less filter before, but more is it because I want to make sure it's here. I'm checking in. As long as that for me is enough, because otherwise it starts to get so messy, confusing, and it's just part of this unraveling and processing. Take the books, take what you need, and then implement, apply, or let go, whatever feels in resonance. And it's so interesting to see so many different perspectives, and some will probably disagree and agree. And that's as long as we're supporting each other. Like, I think that's the main theme, isn't it? It's like, okay, girl, you do your thing, but I'm here, if you want a different perspective. My opinion, I'll give it. But sometimes opinions, this is where I'm careful. Okay, where does these opinions, they're just wanting space, when they want to share something. Do you want my advice? Or, so I'm learning to love more, definitely the feminine divine, because that was one of my, I think I mentioned in the first call I did with you guys, is the feminine was very, very cautious because of the competition, as she was talking about, that you felt, because I feel it, and there's moments. But I think now I'm seeing, if we're really truly listening and understanding, and if I'm getting triggered, I'm like, okay, don't need to blame the other person, just where is it coming from? And I think if we've got this this layer of ourselves that's open. I feel it's a beautiful way to then understand other people's perspectives and why they do what they're doing. And then I brought up about certain nationalities. It's just because this is just one group of people in my area, not saying the whole. And this is why if we come from much more love and understanding, it's going to be a better world, isn't it? And I think she's highlighting some of the important, I think, conflicts, I feel. And that was good. It was a really good book. I'm glad Lisa really, recommended it.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say quickly, when we're talking about, like, I feel like we grew up to split each other's differences apart so much. And when you see, like, tribes who have been untouched, it seems that after when women go through what we call menopause, like this huge ending, this huge problem, is they create like their tribe, like the women's tribe, the women's hood, and you see them, you know, they're like the knowledgeable, the women that younger generations come to for knowledge, and they support each other. That is one of the greatest things that I was feeling and remembering. I used to see pictures in National Geographic when I was little. And so, like, I think when you're young, you don't have that lens of, like, that person's old. You're just like, they're the mamas, like, that would be sitting in their group, like, teaching, holding space and educating with their knowledge and wisdom. And that's what, especially at the start of the book, it made me feel.
That's what this is. All us. It's all like it's a nice container. It's a really nice, safe. Like I said, it's a rare to get a group of, for me personally, because I've blocked it as well, because I've been very careful. But now I'm opening up. When you open up your heart, I think the frequency changes, and this is what happens, and it's lovely to see.
And when you feel safe, otherwise it just doesn't come. But yeah, I think we all have experienced betrayal in the past with someone that we were trusting with, right? Like if it was a friend or something. That's what even Amanda was mentioning, the betrayal that women have, this, I don't know, on the generations as well, like just a betrayal between women, that you don't make yourself to be fully trusted with. But eventually the frequency and the energy attracts your tribe, and it's just beautiful when we all have done or have experienced and learned from life, and we can feel the safety within this group, which is so beautiful. So thank you, guys. It's sacred, you know.
That was the word I missed out on saying. You said it perfectly, Dulce. Sacred.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And it's not about being against men. I think that's where we have to be, because I felt there was a presence at times, but maybe that was my own filter. I don't know, for you guys. It'd be interesting to see. I did feel there was some feminism there, and I was like, oh, because I've been down that path. I was like, because I don't want this, trying to be equal. I think we all have our own purpose, way. I don't want to compete against a man and be equal to a man. I have my own. So there were moments of that, but maybe I was just thinking maybe it was just my trigger point. But that's why the greatness is to take that discernment. It's maybe not even how it's being shared. It's more of how I've just received it. So interesting to see what your thoughts were on, just anyone who wants to share. Did they feel the attack on men?
Yeah, I felt it a little bit, but it wasn't like something that was on this moment. I think she was sharing more about the patriarchy from the past, Yeah. But I felt the same way. I was like, hey, do not go after the man. But yeah, it was just a little moment.
There was some truth you can't deny. And it opened me up to some. She shared some very vital information of where that came from. And you look in systems in the Hollywood, even when you investigate deeper, you do see it's very male, it's all male dominated, many things.
Yeah, there's still the system over there, but I think with the consciousness now, it's shifting even in men. And
I agree.
That
And
was
what you put your
all-
focus on is what's going to
that's all
rise.
that
So,
I
like
am
I'm
like,
seeing
I
the
had to,
women.
if I focus on like how I got my problem, there's just a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. So I have to accept that these are things from the past. And I said to Kiko as well, there's horrible things that happen in the world. Like, you know, people are starving right now with animals, genocide, all terrible things. But the only way I can raise not just me, the planet, and I think of my nieces, what is best for them, it's definitely not me sitting there reading, not necessarily just like this book wasn't that bad, but going down my own rabbit holes and making myself, that was like a huge part of like, I guess one of the biggest releases I did when I healed, just because that wasn't serving me. So it's like, it's that fine line where you want to know and be educated, right? But I was, you want to stay going forward, lifting up.
Yeah, and I think just that's the word, guys. You know, educate ourselves with the facts and not drill in it, but understand that it exists and empower us, like, you know, and find the true sisterhood. Because I think looking back, I'm thinking like I didn't have any female friends who were supportive of me. I felt like there's some kind of jealousy. Like I always was very happy for my friend's success. I get so excited for my friend's success. Like, wow, this is so exciting. But then I realized that my friends were not doing that. You know, they were just, I remember one time, one girlfriend that I had, I thought that she was very close to me. When I got married, I just posted on Facebook, you know, got married status, just so that people know, not to show off. But it's just, you know, and then she just messaged me saying, "What? You got married?" And that was it. She just disappeared after. I'm like, wow, I guess she wasn't my friend.
Yeah, we've got wounds, isn't it? And I sometimes feel I now don't I aim to not attack or like get upset, because I think now, okay, what's the wound there? Sometimes I want to dig deep, especially if it's a true friend. Was it something that because I didn't share it with you, or there may be something behind it? And I've realized I'm not always right. Do you know the last relationship I had? I was putting all of my perceptions on him, and he was like, it's not like that at all. I was like, really? So I used to then challenge and actually, okay, how do you think? And totally different. And it's so interesting to see that when you're fixated and focused on just that your way or the way you think they're thinking or feeling. So that's why it's communication. Oh my goodness, is the key to everything. Like if I feel something and I'm like, is this true? Like, would you be honest with me and share back? Because I'm not saying I'm right. This is just how I feel. Mm-hmm. And I've been not always right, you know? So it's like, if I've hurt somebody, it's really nice that's how you build deep friendships and relationships, is when you can really get that out, what you're feeling. And it's not necessarily how you feel all the time or it's just that moment, maybe something's triggered, or that's how you can really get close to and understand people, I think. So I as long as I have that lens now, I'm like, I don't take anything really too personally, because we don't know what's going on with people's lives. Yeah, we don't know what's happened to them, their trauma, and where they're at now. You know, someone could be happy all their lives, and then all of a sudden an event's happen, or, you know, something traumatic, and it completely changes them, and things come up at different times in people's lives. So I'm doing my best to live as best as I can in that perspective, that there's many perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. We have no idea what's going on in everyone else's life. The only thing that we know for sure is ourselves. So, you know, going back is just, you know, how can we be happy from the core, right? And that's the only way to shine the world, I feel.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you guys, like, if you have that practice of embodying with meeting yourself in the mirror in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes.
I have done that. I kind of do it like when I'm doing my skincare. I just look at my skin, and it's really hard to break free from that, you know, the societal ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you really, and she's right, the more often you do it, the stronger you're just like, I don't care. Like, I love how I look. I love everything about me. And something that I've kind of like, that kind of irks me from some people on social media who look into the raw vegan diet. I remember one time, one influencer was on an airplane and she had been through a whole bunch of stuff and she was super stressed out and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she shared a picture on social media and one of the people in the comments was like, I thought raw vegans weren't supposed to have wrinkles. And I was like, this person just went through a lot. And that's what you have to say. And so, like, you know, when we think about that, like, it's like, as a raw vegan, we're for some reason put on this pedestal, like we're never going to age and we're never going to get sick and nothing's ever going to happen to us. And if something does, the diet isn't good enough or you're not good enough or, you know, you're aging. So, you know, whatever. So it kind of like that kind of bothers me about people, not necessarily like the raw food, but it's just like people looking in who expect. And I think like society expects so much of everybody in different ways that it's really challenging. But yeah, I do that. I look in the mirror and I practice, not all the time, but you know, I will take a moment and just be like, I love you, Skin. Like it's just, it does take time though.
Yeah.
Louise L. Here, she's passed away now. She taught me that when I was around 19. I fell luckily into Louise L. Hay and Wayne Dyer books and doing the mirror work. And that's where I first started practicing that. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, when Lisa, off what you just said, sometimes like I'll get on and do a live and I'll make like a juice. There's a juice recipe. I'll make my sea moss gel. I'll make my salad. And then I post it. It's like an hour and a half video. And then I'll come back and a comment will say, you dye your hair. I thought that was poison or something like that, right? And I'll be like, do you know what? I just gave away like 2 recipes, including making sea moss gel. That's 3. And I shared so much information about my health for you. And in that whole video, you told me that's what you saw. I said, that tells me so much. And I really don't need to know any more about the person. Like when we give, and I always have to bring myself back and go, I just gave like, I didn't have to turn my camera on. And then people who are in like such a dark place, but it does get hard, right? When we're online all the time.
One ritual I've started, what I feel is helping me. I like what she said about, you know, when friends meet and you connect, you always go, oh, don't you look beautiful? Or your hair's really nice. Like, I think that's good. And I think we need to encourage more of the positive, you know, instead of critiquing. So when I always look at somebody now, I always say at least 2 things what I look in my head, like what's beautiful straight away. And then I start to think of 2 things, you know, the heart, you know, and the other things that I really value and not just their appearance. I think it's the language. So just to give you some context, when I was in, so my background was always very it was very critical. We had nothing. It was always poor me. And I'm very conscious of that mindset. So the language was very limited in positive language. So what I made a conscious effort through I would say more my early 30s was more positive words. So I started writing on notice boards and sticker notes everywhere, all of them. I didn't care how it looked, all these positive words, just because I didn't have the language, you know, and sometimes that's all it is the language. And it's the same with how we see others. If you're seeing people getting critiqued all the time and you're seeing it, you know, it's like as a social media, we're seeing, and we do fixate sadly on the ones that say, oh, look at that. You're like, oh, I mean, now I'm just, it's like, but then I also go, oh, you know, I'm not, I'm kind of looking at, okay, where I try to come from a place of understanding. But yeah, my focus is, okay, what are the things that I want to bring in and want to look at of people, you know, more the good, the positives. And we were talking about yesterday, Skye, being naive or delusional. I don't care if we're bringing in a more loving energy into I've got so many good friends who are just so positive. Like sometimes I'm like, I have one particular friend, he doesn't complain ever. And it's rare he gets even angry. And I'm like, are you normal? Like, are you not? do you not get upset about anything? Like, it's just, it baffles me, and I'm digging, and I'm trying to get more from him, but he's okay, he's all right, he's just does his own thing, he focuses on what he can, what he enjoys. He doesn't bitch, he doesn't complain. I'm like, you are a unique soul. And he always, and he helps me sometimes, like when I'm driving. I mean, it can be condescending. He's like, but when I'm angry, he's like, but that's only hurting you. Like how is that affecting them? It's affecting you. And I'm like, all right, I know. I'm trying to expand on my vocabulary, my language of positive, encouraging words, because I honestly, I never had that. When I look back in my past, it was always jealousy, anger, and I liked the anger exercise. And I know Dulce was saying about that's a good, I want to do that more actually, because I still have it. I have anger in me, and I can't help. That's how I wish I didn't. Like I was saying to Skye yesterday, you've got such a beautiful outlook, because she's been to the bottom of the bottom, and I feel I have at times, but maybe not to that extent. But I feel like there's still some anger that I feel needs releasing, and I think that for me is definitely a positive I've taken from it. I want to actually implement.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. For me, it's not anger, it's rage still.
Rage.
And I have done these practices when I was listening to her, because I got the audiobooks, because I didn't have the time to get in the book, but I was just listening because I prefer to do that and be in movement. But I was listening, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I remember all this time where I've been practicing the grief first, and just taking the time to let myself out and cry and scream when I was by myself in the house without the kids, and just let it come out, and just felt like in my throat chakra all these things that I haven't expressed, and you just have to take the time, and then you feel like super light, and then eventually you have to come back again. But yeah, same with the rage, and just allowing yourself to move your body and to let it come out of you. And same with the sensuality that she was sharing, which is so important too. But yeah, when we meet ourselves in the mirror without that critique, but more of admiration or gratitude, of not even looking at ourselves like, oh, the wrinkle, which I'm so grateful for my wrinkles, even after the facial paralysis, like the first time where I felt my whole face again, I cried in gratitude because I was able to see my wrinkles on the other half of my face, right? Because it was so numb that it was nothing. And then my wrinkles came back, and I was just like super grateful. Like, I'm proud of them. Like, and then with my stretch marks, right? For every each one of my babies, the stretch marks that remind me of, I carry you for 9 months, with God's will, right? But yeah, just embracing our body and our skin, and just looking at the mirror and seeing our soul and talk to us. Just 1 minute it takes to just connect with them, which is, it's really important that sometimes we don't take the time. So I'm happy that you're doing the practice, and like this invitation to keep on doing it, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I've been in the mirror and I cry, and it's okay. It's part of the process too, right? But it's just something that we can practice more. Pure love and gratitude.
Like tuning into our hearts first, going into that center, that heart-centeredness, and then going into our affirmations. And then when we're full like that, and then somebody comes against us with something negative, we realize it's them. It's about them. It's not really about us. They're criticizing like Skye said, you can have a sunshiny day and show them the sun and they would see the dark spot in the sun. So it's like really about them and not really about us. And when we're fulfilled, we come to that space in our hearts and we have that, then I think the choices that we make change too. Like, how do we want to respond to all the media of the perfection and all of that? Like, do we look at that? What do we think? We are so full that we see it, but we don't have to necessarily take it in.
One last thing I was going to say, because we're getting into the hour and a half here, what I recall so clearly is, and when I look back at photos of when I was younger at school, my group of girlfriends, is we all kind of looked and dressed the same, but thinking that we didn't, right? Is I look at photos in some areas, and because I got my white tank from another shop and she got hers from hers, we thought we were in completely different outfits, but we're mostly wearing identical, white singlet tops and jeans and Converse, even though the colors were different, right? Is what it's so beautiful now is looking at all of us women together is we are all who we want to be, I hope. Like, yes. I see everybody working on who they are, and we're unapologetic about it. And we're different in the best ways. And I think that's what, to me, like, aging is about. It's about owning who you are. And then coming together like this, we're so blessed to have this, and being okay with, even if we're going through a bad time or a good time, is being who we were meant to be and not who we were. That's the change, right, that happens. We get to be who we were destined to be.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Skye, for hosting this. Because this is that sisterhood. Like, that's where I was like, because when I suggested the book, I had read that first part and I was like, this is good. And then I thought of you guys and I'm like, this is exactly what we need. We all need is that support. And I love, Skye, that you shared about the triggers that that came up for you for reading it, because we're all here to support each other. And that's exactly why we do stuff like this, is to be there for each other's thoughts and what bubbles up and what we can talk about and stuff. So thank you for holding the space for us.
Oh, you're welcome. And look, isn't it nice that I did that morning, I woke up and I was with Kiko on a podcast, and I just opened up about it and I didn't even think twice about it. So it's like, and then I was talking to Tony the next day about it, and I'm here with you guys. So I am so grateful. Thank you guys so much. And thank you everybody else.
Do we talk about another top book for the next?
So we can talk about it now. Tony constantly, what's the book called? Constantly brings up and refers to this book.
Well, it's not the book, it's the Kyle Cease. I really resonate with his work. The book, he has two books, but I love his. It's an older book, but I do feel it's not just about money. It's called The Illusion of Money. It's not about, it's more than you think. It's a really fascinating, I love his work. Watch his YouTube channel. I'm part of his membership. I went to see him in LA. I went all the way over from Thailand to LA last year, and I only went for 10 days just to go to the event. And it was, I love it. I mean, I don't always put people, I'm very conscious of putting people on pedestals because I love you guys and I love that. I'm really fascinated, but I just resonate. I really resonate with, he really soothes. When you listen to something and soothes you, I really read. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. I've put it across that if Illusion of Money, Kyle Cease, Kylecease. It's just a beautiful soul. He's talking about the shift now as well with what's happening in the world of really coming back into this non-controlling and surrendering everything we're talking about, really, and just being much more in this space of allowing. And I really want to embrace, and I really love what he's I like, because it soothes my nervous system, because we're in this masculine, this hustle culture and a go, and he's really helped me really bring my set down to center and open up the space to more feminine.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 50% off on Audible right now.
Yay!
Okay,
I'm gonna get it.
A heads up as well. I don't know if that book's there, but I have a membership with Spotify because that's where I listen to my music from, and they have all the audio books there. So I just got that for free.
Great.
I used to buy Audible, and then I was on Spotify, and I'm like, you get most of the books are all on Spotify.
I wonder if Apple, does Apple do that? Does anyone know if Apple does it too?
No, Apple doesn't.
Oh,
so I
darn.
used to have, I've had an Apple membership, and I had premium YouTube music because I'm a music girly, but then I was settled on Spotify because it was the best deal. And then they have all the ebooks. Sometimes they don't. I don't know why it isn't, but they had Amanda's. I just had it on Spotify, so I didn't have to pay for it. Anyone else watching? If that's how you like to listen.
How about we, we share 2 to 3 books of our favorite or something that we want to share, each person. Like I already have 2, 3 right off of my head. And I love hearing everyone's favorite book. That's so exciting for me to read, and connect with you guys.
I have a favorite book.
Go for it.
Another one.
So many.
Okay, so I've read this book 3 times already, and I'm going to read it again because it is my absolute favorite self-help book of all time. It's called it's called Mindful Self-Discipline by Giovanni Dienstmann or Dienstmann. That book has really shifted how I view discipline, because a lot of it's like discipline, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta get up, you gotta do the thing, like there's so much masculine energy in discipline. But he brings it as like I changed, like I have my own spin on it. I call it directed desire. So he says like you want to be disciplined with going to bed early, right? You don't have to force yourself to do it. Instead, you want to go to bed early. This is a desire of yours. So it puts you in this funnel of actually doing the action because it's something that you truly want. Yeah. So framing it differently and not being so like hard and rigid with discipline, but you're doing it because you actually want to.
It's aligned. I call it aligned. It's aligned action. It's aligned
action.
Everything we do takes a bit of effort, energy. Everything has to have energy. But where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's the book, that one right there. And like I said,
what I'm going to do is get you guys to send me the books you say today. I'll put it in a list, and then I can add the list to the bottom of this video and also just put on my story today or whatever, if that's all right. Just interrupted there, but I will do that for anybody.
A list of lots of new books. I'm excited. I'm a reader. I love reading.
That's just been Okay, go ahead.
And I'd love anything by Wayne Dyer, because that's where I got my spiritual beginning. I haven't read anything for years and years on him, but I loved listening to him talk on PBS and also reading.
I met Wayne Dyer before he passed.
Oh,
he had to give me a hug. I was like,
oh wow, I would love
he's
that.
Sweet. I read all of his books as well. I'll share mine in our chat on Instagram, I think.
Okay. All right.
Dulce, what's yours?
No, I'm in blank right now.
That's okay. It's all good.
One that is really good. I will think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
And don't ask me, I haven't read in years, so you guys are teaching me. Teaching me as I go.
But I have a few over here that I have to keep up, but I will share in the chat just to see a very good one. Nice. But I have to feel it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true. I love that. I know with the one that I shared, the mindful self-discipline, when I read it, I feel like I can only read like a few pages because I really like to like digest what I just read. And I've had mixed reviews on it with people because it is so deep that some people feel it's dry, but I just like soak it up like a sponge because it resonates so much with like it's the whole intention, the purpose of why you choose what you choose and why you want to change your habits and all that kind of stuff. So it's very habit driven, like Atomic Habits style, but way deeper and a much different perspective of the intention behind discipline. So yeah, I always talk about it being like my favorite book because
Now I have to share mine. Okay, my recent favorite one is Evi Pompura's she used to be in the Secret Service, and oh my God, her book is so powerful. She is like my coach, like a mental coach, and I've listened to her audio over and over, and she's so powerful. But yeah, I'll share that on our group.
What was it called?
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
By Evie Pompuros. She is like such a kick-ass. Like, yeah. When I listen to her,
I'm getting those vibes from you saying that.
yeah, no, I mean, when I listen to her, I feel like, okay, I got my things done.
I love that.
Oh, that's awesome. So which one are we gonna do?
Should we decide in the group, or how are we going to go about doing that? Or you know what I can do is I can write them all down in the group, and then I can do a lucky draw. Like I can put them in is that something that would work? Like I'll write them on a bit of paper. I have paper, put them in my hat or something and pull one out. Is that?
We can also all take turns, like take turns, and each of us share a book.
That's a good
like
idea.
that idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to share the next one?
I'm
wants
out.
to
I
go
already
next?
did it.
Tony, because you talk. Tony,
Yeah, we could do Tony's book next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
So excited.
I'm excited.
What is the name of it again, Tony? I will put this at the bottom of this live.
I'll
as
do a
well.
little summary.
Illusion of
Illusion
Money.
of Money. by
Illusions of Money. Okay.
I'll send you it, and I'll do a little summary as well.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. This is amazing. And why I love these even more is the more we do this, the more bonded we are. We're just getting
Exactly.
together.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you
Love
too.
you
Love
guys.
you guys.
Love you,
Bye.
girl.